Right, okay, let's try to import two different plans right into a single STAAD Pro model. So maybe you might have a big plan. For the sake of this video, let's try to export. This is the floor plan from maybe ground to story number 5. From story number 6 to story number 10, this will be the plan. So this plan should not be split right into two different drawings. Rather, it will be placed right into a single drawing, so as we can put all these plans together and I can extrude it and put one on top of other. STAAD Pro doesn't allow you to import two different drawing files, so that's so sorry. First thing, let's draw the center line. This is obviously the center line, and so maybe you can say that this is a center line diagram. We don't need to export column. It's only possible to export the center line where the actual load passed through. Center line of beam, and that's what you see right here, center line of the beam. Center line can be drawn in many different ways if you're having the latest version of CAD. Maybe I think it's from 2018 onwards, I don't remember. You're having command called center line, and using center line you can pick up 2 points, first point and second point. So by picking 2 points you will have the center line. Now that's center line, and by making use of the center line, I've drawn this figure. In units is quite important, so if I try to get into the, I just want to check up the size, you can see that the unit is in centimeter. So get into UN, and I like to pick up centimeters right here. Now you can save the file. Right in here, I like to pick up DXF, save it, and closing AutoCAD is quite important. I like to close this drawing itself. Okay, now I like to use this as a reference to pick up column. Into STAAD Pro, create a file right there. Get into file and import, pick up DXF. And right in here, I like to pick up the DXF, and you can pick up Y is up. You can see that right here. The global Y is towards the upper axis. You can pick it up right there. Now pick up the unit. I'm not considering whatever be the unit of force, I'm not considering it. Pick up centimeter, which is the same units that I filled in right in AutoCAD. The first step is change the units. I'm quite comfortable in working with meter, kilonewton, and units. So change the units. All right, the first thing is I like to get into here. I like to break up all these beams here and get into highlight and hit OK. So that will select all these beams here, which is even connected, touched. That's even connected but not yet broken. So highlight and intersect it. Okay, so that will break the beam right at this node. Even if you didn't perform this action, that will eventually do not transfer load right into that node. The next thing is I like to copy it, select it. I like to translate and repeat. I like to translate it to the y-axis. And now these two objects should pass 5 stories having a spacing of 3 meters, and I don't want you to link this. It's quite important. Do not link this, which is quite very important. So this is what you see. Next step is connect these objects, connect it and remove the base part. Okay, next thing is I'd like to copy the whole asset, and now you can cut it. Okay, I know that. Next is paste it, cut it, paste it. Where? Pick up the reference point. The point is right here, and this point should snap right onto this point. I think that's not how these things work. This point should snap right into here. Okay, that's cool. You can see that it's right. Okay, you can see that's a perfect snap. Right, then what we're gonna do here is the stories. Now let's try to modify these stories here. I'd like to get into a new view here. Now this is what I want. I like to isolate these objects here. Right after isolating, I like to convert this into group. So then I can assign some sort of floor loads here. You can select this room and I think that's a toilet. There's a toilet. Okay, Control G to create group floor, and this is a room number A, or maybe toilet. Okay, that's cool. And yeah, associated, and hit associate. Next thing is get into here, create, and this is, I think it's dining or living. It's living room, and this one should be floor, associated. All right, now close it. So the bottom story has been assigned. Now let's try to understand what's happening in the case of top stories. You can select it, get in here in new view, and I should like to display new view in a new window. Yeah, you can have a similar procedure. Control G, room number C. I don't know this technically. I don't have any name to put a bit right in here on room number C, and here I'm going for maybe room number D, associated. The last room is E, make it floor, and associated. Right, everything has been assigned. Let me try to Control G again. Let me try and highlight it. This is room number 1. Next thing is, let's try to isolate it again, and now let's try to connect. Next step is connecting columns. Okay, let's select up all these objects, and now get into the top view. What we're gonna do here is, right now, get into the node cursor, and I can select all these nodes where it's supposed to have columns, selecting up all these nodes here, and we can connect the beams along y-axis. Okay, all right, look into here. The beams are already here, and now what I can do here is I can delete the base, which is supposed to have the footing. Get again right into the node cursor, and now assign some supports here. Yeah, go for fixed. Now let's see what's happening in the other case. Right in here, what we can do here is get into the front view. I can select all these objects, all of these objects. Now get into the top view, assign materials, assign support, assign loading. Right in the case of loading, I like to especially assign a floor load. Not carrying the dead or live load type, I am looking for a floor load which is in a group, and the group is maybe the toilet, can be carrying -2. Next is the living room, carrying maybe -3. I don't care what's the number of load. I'm trying to teach you the process of importing AutoCAD file right into STAAD Pro. Once the model has been complete, it's your process. Okay, I'm only considering these 3 points. You can see that everything is working up properly. That's it. That's it now. The process totally depends on the type of junction that you have. Maybe if you're having a continuous column that's going from bottom to top, it's totally okay. Do this process. Right. What we want to do here is select up all the stories on top, and I like to isolate it. Next thing is, where do we have columns? So pick up the node cursor, and again select up these points 1, 2, 3, and 4. If the spacing is too low, you can provide columns right onto these points too. Next, I like to connect it between y-axis. That's okay. Now take up all the structure. Now the next step is the marriage between these two discontinuous floor. So we can select up these floors and isolate it. So that's the right case. You need to do everything manually. So You need to do everything manually, so you can add beam right from here. First point, second point, first point, second point. I can't add anything right here, so I like to go for perpendicular intersection. First point is here, second one is here. Going here, first is here, second is here, first is here, and second is here. I think this is all right. Watch everything. Okay, all right, that's great.